probably too deep on every position. And you got this kid, Tua, who's slinging the ball all over the field, and he's looking like the Heisman favorite at this point. At the end of the day, he is the Heisman favorite. Why the hell are you practicing this kid? You can actually play your backup quarterback who got you to the national championship game. Rest this kid up. You have a bye week next week, and then let him come back and do his thing. This is why people are always saying, hey man, these kids need to be paid. This is some BS and this, that, and the third. This is why I'm going to use Kim as the example. Kim called the show, a.k.a. Red called the show a few weeks ago. Well, actually, when she first joined when she first became a bench warmer, she called the show, and she was telling us about her young men who are football players. And I was telling her, this is why you need to have someone helping you along the way with that, because how the hell is Nick Saban even playing this dude? They're not getting any money. He ain't getting no money. And don't tell me about, you got these jackasses talking about, well, they're getting a free education. Look, you can be smart and get a free education. You can get an academic scholarship, people. Let's not act like what this dude is doing is this dude, look, you go to school to get a put yourself in a better position for gainful employment, entrepreneurship, or whatever the case may be. Whatever you're doing, going to school for. Some people go to school so they can be scientists, and then they can invent something, or be an engineer and invent something, or what have you. Some people go to school to get a law degree or a medical degree or whatever. Some people want to be cops or what have you. So you go to a university, you either pay your money or you pay with your body if you're an athlete, and you put yourself in a situation to whereas both parties should use you. You should be in an advantageous situation for both parties. Nobody, even swap ain't no swindle, so to speak. But when you are putting, this young man wants to be a professional football player. He looks like he's about 6'1", 6'2", and of course they're gonna knock him down. They're gonna complain about his accuracy when it comes time to pay him. That's just how it goes in the NCAA. But if he's injured or even hurt, because there is a difference. When you're injured, you can't play. You may try to power through an injury, but injuries will not allow you to play. Hurt means, yeah, I'm in pain and I could tough it out. When you're on the University of Alabama Crimson Tide, you don't need to play in either situation. And why I say that is this. The goal is to put yourself in a position to showcase your talent so you can make yourself available for the NFL. At the end of the day, that's all you're doing. That's why you go to the University of Alabama, because when you play for Alabama, people are going to put you in a situation to where, hey man, these guys are good, and we're going to look at these guys, and Alabama's there, and they win the national championship, and look, he's the reason they're winning. And you're going to get paid. But if you put my career in jeopardy, because this young man goes out there and actually gets hurt, then what? Nick just going to go to the next dude. And this is why, we can keep talking this nonsense about they getting a free education. Yeah, but if you hinder, if you giving me a free education and you preventing me from moving forward with that education, because guess what? That education, it's not going to do me any good for the job I'm trying to do. You are educating me on football, Coach Saban. So if you're educating me on football and you make it so I can't attend and I can skip this class, don't make me go to this class, because now you're preventing me from potentially maximizing my abilities to make sure your resume stays fat. Look, bruh, if I don't make it to the pros, they still gonna give you that $10 million they promise you. But if I get hurt, they not giving me a damn dime. And see, this is why when you jackasses go along with these people, oh man, they're getting this and they're getting that. They're not getting a damn thing. These young men are putting their bodies on the line. These young men are putting themselves in jeopardy. And for what? So Nick Saban can continue to make his pockets fat. Because guess what? At $10 million a year, guess what? He's also that's what the school's paying him. And by the way, for those that don't know, The University of Alabama is paid off Nick Saban's mortgage. So not only are they paying him, this dude don't have no bills. He got utility bills now. So you getting $10 million for utility bills. By the way, he has a television and a radio show. By the way, he also is getting money from Nike. The school getting money from Nike as well, but the bulk of that money goes to the coach. While I'm running around with a $65,000, $70,000, $80,000 education, and unemployment has the rav pussy. So even if I get this damn degree, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna get a job. And then let's not forget, we living in America where you got discrimination. So if you look like this, or you pray to this, or you or whoever you laying in your bed with, I might not even get a job. So let's not act like this is some charity case and put myself in a situation to whereas it's a guarantee. Now you do have boosters at Alabama that may be able to guarantee you something, but there's no guarantees in life. Do you really believe I would rather be like Maurice Prothero down at University or down at Alabama working in a bank when he could have potentially been in the NFL because he broke his leg in the middle of a University of Alabama game? This dude was lighting the NCAA on fire. He broke his leg, and now most of you don't even know who the hell Maurice Prothero is. Or do I want to be the first player picked like this dude Bosa at the Ohio State University? Signed out of school today, and I'm gonna get on to that in a second. Be like Joey Bosa's little brother, Nick Bosa, signed out of school because I'm finna get ready to get drafted. Because if I'm picked #1 in the draft, which they're projecting him to be the #1 pick, that's a guaranteed $30 million. If you got a guaranteed $30 million, which means you're probably walking away with about 14, guess what that means? I don't ever have to work again if I don't want to. And that's what this young brother's playing for. And so miss me with that nonsense, Nick Saban. With that being said, man, let's get into some of these games. Penn State and Michigan State played one of the best games of the year. Now, as you guys know, Coach Franklin is one of my favorite coaches. I like him, and he was beating himself up, and rightfully so, because for the last 2 years, he started off 0-7, 7-0, and 5-0. And after he started that, the homie lost promptly to Ohio State and Michigan State back-to-back years. And this is a situation to whereas it continues to happen that way. He made a hell of a statement last week, and something I totally respect. And it's not because he's my man. It's something I really respect. He said, we are a very good program. It's time for us to step up and become a great program. I respect the hell out of that, because instead of stand up there saying those cliche things and allowing the media to kick him square in his ass, what he did was take responsibility and put himself in a situation to whereas he's going to right the ship and move forward. Even though he's out of the championship contention, look, these are not the two programs that are pumping hundreds of dollars into their athletic programs. Even though they are putting a boatload of money into the programs, they're not putting hundreds of millions in. This is not Alabama. This is not Ohio State. This is not SC. They are state-funded programs. Not saying that some of these coaches who are coaching at these state-funded programs are not the highest paid state employees. But at the end of the day, we're looking at a situation whereas these are great football programs, and he did lose to a damn good coach. So I can't really be mad at him. Now, with that being said, a guy who I can be mad at is Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart at the University of Georgia, was no way in hell they supposed to lose that game this weekend, man. Look, Kirby Smart, you lost to LSU. Look, you have the #1 quarterback from the year before last and the #1 quarterback from last year. And you found a way to only score 16 points. Again, people, I'm only gonna support and bolster my argument that I've been telling y'all. They keep trying to tell y'all, hey man, this is a passing league and passing is king, and if you can't pass, you can't do this, and da 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 da. Now, even though the University of Georgia did run the ball more than they passed it, but guess what? The LSU ran it almost twice as much as the University of Georgia did. This is what you do to these high-flying offenses, and when you don't have a true game plan, what you do, you don't have the amount of talent that these big-time universities have. This is what you do. You line up in front of these people and bust them right square in their mouth. LSU said, look, we got this quarterback and he's solid, but he's not great. So we're going to throw the ball a lot less than we run it, because we know Jake Fromm, we know DeAndre, we know these other dudes on the other side. They have a dynamic, high-flying offense, even though they're designed just like the University of Alabama. We are not going to allow them to get rolling. And what they did was run the ball 51 times while everybody else is running the ball. They ran the ball 51 times. They ran the ball 51 times while the other team ran the ball while they threw the ball 31 times. When you keep the other team's offense at bay, you more than likely will win a college football, a football game. It's not even a college pro thing. If you keep their offense out of rhythm, you will beat them more times than not. And that's what they did. And Kirby Smart should have been prepared for that. It's not like he's at Rudy Poot University where he has a whole bunch of undersized people and things of that nature. Kirby Smart, you got out coached, and man, you are going to have to make up for that. The saving grace with Kirby Smart is this, people. Kirby Smart is in the SEC East. And that means he can still make the playoffs in the event that he beats the almighty Alabama Crimson Tide at the end of the season. And I think that can be done. It's a hell of a task, but it can be done. It's not like Alabama is invincible. It's not like Nick Saban has won every championship since he's been there. He's been beaten, and he's been beaten by the likes of Kirby Smart. So, look, he is playing against his own game plan, and he's going to have to make mad adjustments. With that being said, Pittsburgh didn't force Notre Dame to make a whole lot of adjustments. See, we're used to Notre Dame being the big brother on the block, whooping on everybody, and from back in the day. This is not the Notre Dame that we used to. I don't really have a lot of faith in Brian Kelly because they don't have the biggest, baddest dudes in the park anymore, and they're looking at a situation to whereas they're having a scheme. Sometimes in college football, the scheme may not get you through. Sometimes it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Willies and the Joes. But with that being said, the University of Notre Dame squeaked out a victory over Pittsburgh. Now, another game I kept an eye on is Oregon and Washington. The reason I did that is Jake Browning and this dude, I think Bobby Abear's son, Justin Abear. Justin Abear is going to be one of the top players picked in the draft next year. He had the likes of the top dog in Denver, John Elway, at this game, and he showed and proved. Jake Browning, on the other hand, he continues to come up on the short end of the stick in regards to Washington versus Oregon. This was a hell of a game. Jake Browning threw for 243 yards and a touchdown, but it's just a situation to whereas he continues to come up on the short end of the stick. I think he'll be a solid pro, but I'm not sure. But the dude everybody's paying attention to is Abear. Abear is getting it in, and he's earning his scholarship, so to speak. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Now, another game that I tuned in on was my main man, Khaki Pants, a.k.a. Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh is letting people know, I know what the hell I'm doing. I know I'm a good coach. He started off the season with a loss, but at this point he's 4-0-6 in the Big Ten and 6-1 overall. They came in there and took the University of Wisconsin's lunch, and they're putting themselves in a situation to be in the national conversation. Keep the good work up, Jim Harbaugh. We're gonna keep rooting for you. Now, a dude who I believe at some point he's going to be on the Budweiser hot seat, even though he went into this on a rebuilding situation and with a solid record of 5-2 and 2-1 the ACC, but he's at the U, people. And what he did was he did something admirable. Mike Rick, the coach at the University of Alabama, he dedicated some of his $7 million salary to upgrade the facilities at the University of Miami. It's almost a travesty that the University of Miami has shabby facilities. with all the pros that are going down. And I'm not asking those pros to give up a dime because they don't owe them anything. But with all the